Throughout the history of the world, great teachers have made a lasting impact on the lives and the hearts of their students. All of us can recall a certain teacher, a very special someone who inspired us to learn and pushed us to grow and be better. The importance of teachers in society cannot be underestimated. They take on the responsibility of shaping young minds, and they change their lives for the better. This program is a tribute to and for teachers and celebrates the special and often heroic role they play in their students' lives. This program presents some extraordinary men and women whose timeless wisdom echoes the strength, character, and passion of educators all across our district and across our nation. This program is, in our small way, an opportunity to say thank you to those who educate, encourage, empower, and inspire the students of our world. Those who take a hand, open a mind, and touch a heart. Teachers. And joining us at this time is Miss Melissa Johnson, who's the Dynamic Teacher of the Year at Lakewood Park Elementary School. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Joining her is Miss Carrie Waller-Kevis, Teacher of the Year extraordinaire as well, but principal over at Lakewood Park. Carrie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Now, I guess I better explain why I call you the Teacher of the Year, right? Carrie was the Teacher of the Year for the state of Florida, so we have to acknowledge her as well. Dynamic teacher and now administrator, but she's brought along the dynamic Miss Johnson. So our viewers like to know who's working in St. Lucie County. Please give us a brief intro.
Okay. I started teaching about 5 years ago. I got my bachelor's degree from Baylor University in psychology. Prior to that, I was a club director for the St. Lucie County Boys and Girls Club for 16 years. And now I'm here at my home.
I'm a club kid. I'm a club kid.
Are you?
Yes, yes.
And we're keeping her forever.
Okay, great, great. Don't let her go. Miss Waller-Kevis, introduce yourself too, please.
Carrie Waller-Kevis. Yes, I am a former Teacher of the Year. This is my 25th year in education and all 25 in St. Lucie County. So I feel as though I've grown up here as an educator. I graduated from FAU with my undergraduate degree and my master's, and feel like I have been able to put everything I've learned into practice from textbooks, but my Lakewood Park family definitely helps me continue to learn and grow every day. So just so blessed to be at the park.
Awesome. Ladies, again, welcome to the show. But now, Miss Johnson, tell us, why did you choose teaching as a profession?
I chose teaching as a profession because I probably have these grandiose ideas of the way our world should be, and I think we can do better. I think we can be better, and I think by teaching I can help mold the people who can make that world better someday.
So think back, when you think about the decision to become a teacher, could you say that there was possibly a teacher or a few teachers that actually inspired you?
I would say there were a lot of teachers who inspired me, teachers who cared when I didn't want them to care. But I think back now as an adult, and I'm amazed, you know, that they had the perseverance to keep after me and to make the phone calls home and to let me know that I was important. And I think that everyone, regardless of whether you're considered the smart kid or the funny kid, that I think everybody needs to know that they're being cared about.
So what's life like in the classroom of Melissa Johnson?
In my classroom, well, right now with the pandemic, of course, it's a little different because we're all wearing masks and keeping our hands clean, but it's a great opportunity because I'm all for taking care of one another. And what a great opportunity but to take care of one another by keeping your mask up and by doing what you need to do to keep your classmates safe and healthy. I think if you walked into my classroom, you'd see kids excited about learning. I think you'd see kids leading the way and excited to be at school. I think you'd see just brilliant minds in all their own different ways. I think that's what you'd see.
So what's your favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part of teaching? Well, I'd like to say the hugs, but right now I can't. But I think I love knowing at the end of the day that kids have gone home knowing that they're important to someone, that they have their own unique intelligence, that somebody has recognized and validated them for who they are.
Ms. Waller-Kevitz, you have the opportunity to see this magic happen every day. Explain to us what's life like in her class from your perspective.
I don't know that I could explain it better than she did, other than when you walk in the room, it just oozes caring and warmth and respect for one another. So although there's great things going on and there's cooperative learning and choral responses and kids excited about learning, when they come together, they're so kind and so respectful of one another. And I'm not, Miss Johnson is one, and she doesn't brag on herself, but she is the teacher that will kind of scope out the second grade kiddos and kids that seem to be struggling in other areas or other classrooms. She'll come and say, would you put that child in my room? So it's kids that maybe have not always had the best experience in school, that she brings into her room, and they just blossom, not just academically, because her test scores are amazing, but they truly grow as kind, caring, loving children.
There's something about that adage about they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's Miss Johnson.
Cool.
She's the poster child for that.
So, give us 3 adjectives that describe Miss Johnson.
I would start with empathetic, but I'm going to start with an advocate, because she is not only an advocate for her children, but she is an advocate for her peers. She's an advocate for Lakewood Park, and she's an advocate just for teaching in general. I'm sure she goes into Publix and the person in front of her, would you like to become a teacher? I can help. She's so passionate and just loves everything about teaching and children and our school, that she's just a true advocate. But she's also extremely empathetic, and so any kid in her room, regardless of whether they are, have everything in the world or need, extra love, she can put herself in their situation and truly try to see things from their eyes. And I think what oozes out of her is just love. Loving would be the last word I would use to describe her.
Wow, awesome. Advocate, empathetic, and loving. When I hear those descriptors and I listen to Ms. Waller-Kevitz talk about your classroom from her perspective, and then I think back, Ms. Johnson is the teacher of the year. That's evident enough that they are really proud of you at Lakewood Park. So tell me, what are you most proud of about your school?
Well, I'm proud of our principal. I'm
yes.
proud of the great changes she's brought to our school. I'm proud of the mindset we have at the school. And I think the mindset we have is that everyone can be kind, whether you're an adult or a child. The mindset that it doesn't matter what kind of outside baggage you bring in, you're capable of succeeding, whatever that success looks like. And I think that that's what I'm proud of, is that we have a mindset that everybody can be somebody there.
So, Ms. Johnson, what do you regard as your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment, wow. I think my greatest accomplishment, it's probably small accomplishments. I don't know if I could say I have one big one. No, I do have a big one, actually. I was the only person in my family to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree. And I did so while taking care of a dying husband and a young child. And I'm pretty proud, I guess, of that. But I'm also proud of the little things each day when I see students who just take something more home with them than just knowledge.
Awesome, awesome. So, Ms. Waller-Kevitz, what makes Ms. Johnson the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
I think having, walked in those shoes, and you hit on it a little bit earlier, that when you end up with a title, all of a sudden you become the expert. And so Ms. Johnson's ability to advocate and put herself in other people's situations just truly makes her an excellent candidate for Teacher of the Year. What educators across the country and across the state and in St. Lucie County, what they need is someone, experienced, living the dream and sharing what she's experiencing with others. And I think we couldn't ask for a better advocate for our district.
So, Mrs. Johnson, you are the Teacher of the Year. You automatically are our spokesperson at Lakewood Park. We want to know what you have to say. We want to know what you think about education. Tell us, what's your message?
I think my message would be that we need to keep amazing teachers in the classroom. I think there are times when teachers get put a little bit on the bottom rung of the ladder, and a lot of teachers leave the classroom in order to be validated or respected or make more money. And I think sometimes we lose amazing people from classrooms. Now I love our coaches and our interventionists, and we need them, but I think our students need some people in the classroom who are leaving those classrooms.
Mustafa Ataturk said, "A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others." Thank you for being a shining light over at Lakewood Park Elementary. Ms. Wallakevitz, thank you for joining us. And Ms. Johnson, congratulations on your selection as Teacher of the Year.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Perry.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
And we're pleased to welcome to our show at this time Lacey Black, who's the Dynamic Teacher of the Year over at Windmill Point Elementary School. Ms. Black, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Joining her is the proud Dynamic Principal of Windmill Point, Ms. Brie Lamb. Ms. Lamb, welcome.
Thank you for having me. So
Ladies,
excited to be here.
Yes. Ladies, it's a pleasure to have an opportunity to speak with you, but more so, this Spotlight show gives us the chance to share the wonderful teachers that we have in St. Lucie Public Schools with our viewers. So with that, I'm going to ask that if both of you would briefly introduce yourself so that they'll know just a little more about you. And Ms. Black, we'll start with you.
My name is Lacey Black. I've been at Windmill Point for almost 10 years now. I've been teaching third grade there for almost 10 years now. I've been in the same position all this time, which is my favorite position in the world. I went to SUNY Oswego, which is in upstate New York. I moved here shortly after. I taught for 1 year in New York City before I got to move down to Florida. And I'm a mom of two. I have two crazy little boys that keep me on my toes and a wonderful husband, and that's me.
Awesome, awesome. Ms. Lamb?
Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you, Dr.
You
Perry.
too, you too.
So I am from St. Lucie County. I was born and raised here. I went to St. Lucie Public Schools through school. A proud principal at Windmill Point. This is my third year there. I'm very excited to lead our Wildcat family to our success that we've had. I'm the mother of 3 children, all who have attended St. Lucie Public Schools as well. I went to FAU for my bachelor's and American College of Education for my master's in educational leadership.
So, what high school did you graduate from?
So I actually graduated from John Carroll.
Okay.
But from elementary school, I went to White City Elementary. That was my home school all through elementary schools, and I was a Wildcat there. So it's kind of interesting.
Right back
I'm
home,
now
right?
a Wildcat.
Wildcat makes a
Point.
Wildcat. Exactly. So, Ms. Black, tell us, why did you choose teaching as a profession?
I think from childhood, I always knew I wanted to go into a profession of helping others, but it really hit home for me in my 11th grade year. I was never a star student. I don't think it was really because of my inability to be a star student, but really I didn't have a lot of people pushing me to reach my full potential. Mm-hmm. And I had a math teacher, her name was Miss Coster, and she was inspiring, and she taught me that I could be more and I could be an outstanding student, and I was for her. And because of her, I realized that I didn't just want to help others, I wanted to help others with learning the way that she taught me it was possible to help others with learning. She gave me the power to be like a facilitator in the class and help my peers and use that collaborative discussion with my peers to help them be successful, and I loved it. And by the end of 11th grade, I knew this is what I wanted to do. And so that's what I went to college to do. I originally wanted to be a high school math teacher, and then I just wanted to be her. And then I realized that that wasn't what was meant for me, and I found my true passion in elementary with young children.
So tell me, especially during this time, what's life like in Miss Black's room?
We try to keep it still as fun as it ever was.
That's good.
Times are daunting, it's challenging, and school's already challenging enough for some. Let's keep it as fun and lively as we can. You know, we're in close quarters and there's a lot of kids, but they're still able to talk collaboratively with each other safely, using the proper precautions, and we still do our daily times tests that they beg me, please, let's do it, let's do it. They just get so excited and they go through all of their routines and they're having fun, even though times are hard and sometimes it doesn't feel like it's the funnest day. I know that they're having fun while learning in my room.
So what's your favorite part of being a teacher?
I guess inspiring them to be their most successful selves. I let them know every day, you are capable of more, you are capable of everything you ever want, and you just have to find it in yourself to push yourself to be there. If it's hard for you right now, it won't always be hard for you. It's hard now, I'm just not there yet. I'll get there soon.
So Ms. Lamb, tell us, what's life like in Ms. Black's room from your perspective?
So when I walk into Miss Black's room, it's one of those classrooms, and she really hates to brag about herself, but I'm going to tell you, from the minute you walk in, you are transformed into this classroom where you are 100% engaged. And I often find myself, when I'm observing her, wanting to participate in the lesson or the task or the activity that they're doing because of her engagement strategies and her facilitation of the conversation, of allowing our learners, our students, to guide their learning and to be responsible for that and to own the work that they're doing. It's really unique to see. It's also the atmosphere of culture, the learning. It's the culture that's within that classroom. She supports them in a way that they feel that anything is possible, that they will all achieve success. If they didn't achieve it today, they're going to get there tomorrow. And so that culture, you see it from the minute that you walk in, of that we're supporting one another to eventually get to be successful.
So please describe Ms. Black for us using 3 adjectives and explain why.
Well, if I had to use 3 adjectives, the first one that pops to my mind would be definitely her commitment to education. She is committed to her team as team lead. She's committed to her students. She sees 2 sections of students. So at this point, I believe she has over 40 students that she's 100% committed to. And then one step further, she also oversees Odyssey, and that's a huge commitment as well to students that aren't even in her classroom. So that would be my first adjective. My next would be she's loving. She welcomes students, and sometimes we all know that students come to school who may need something beyond what academics is needed, and she provides that social, emotional, and that caring culture to promote her children in a different way. And I would say my third thing that I would say about Miss Black is that she's engaging. When you're in her class, she's always thinking of strategies to have you responding, to answering, to practicing, to trying. So it's that engagement. She's very engaging to listen to and watch teach, for sure.
When I listen to and observe Ms. Lamb speak about you, it's evident that they're Wildcat proud of you.
Thank you.
So tell me, what are you most proud of about your school?
Oh my gosh, about my school, everything. I'm a Wildcat for life. I will say to my students when they leave my room, they'll say, we want to come back and visit you. And I'll be right here. Just come back. And they do, they come back. We have such a good community at our school, and I really do believe that all of our staff believes in the success of our children and the potential that they have, and it's really a privilege to work there. I could never foresee myself being anywhere else. It's home. It's my second home.
So Ms. Lamb, what makes Ms. Black the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Well, she's the perfect candidate because, again, her enthusiasm, her passion, her commitment, but she will represent teachers and educators in St. Lucie very well. She is proud of Windmill Point, of her students, her colleagues, and St. Lucie County. We're happy to have Ms. Black at Windmill Point, and we hope she calls us home forever.
So, Ms. Black, we want to hear what the Teacher of the Year thinks and what they have to say. You're our spokesperson. What's your message?
I guess that I know this year has been a really challenging year for everyone. It's been a lot of obstacles to overcome, but that with perseverance and adaptability and forever growth mindset, we might not be there, but we'll get there yet, and we'll get there together, supporting each other.
Crystal McAuliffe said, "I touch the future I teach." Thank you for teaching and touching the future. Slam, thank you for joining us, and congratulations, Ms. Black, on your selection as Teacher of the Year.
Thank you very much.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
And joining us at this time on our Teacher of the Year Spotlight Show is Ms. Tracy Paletti, the dynamic Teacher of the Year over at Performance-Based Preparatory Academy. Welcome.
Thank you.
She's joined by the proud principal, Susan Seal. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies, it is indeed a pleasure to have both of you as we celebrate teaching and have an opportunity to present to our viewers some of the dynamic teachers that we have here in St. Lucie Public Schools. So at this time, Ms. Paletti, I'm going to ask that you just give us a brief bio so that our viewers will know just a little more about you.
29 years in education, and I've just returned to the classroom. I was an administrator in Palm Beach County for several years. I graduated from Troy State University when it was Troy State University, and that was my bachelor's in business, and then I got my master's in curriculum and instruction from FAU and a specialist in ed leadership from FAU.
Great. Ms. Seal?
I have been with the St. Lucie Public Schools system for 26 years. I too am an alumnus of FAU as well.
That makes 3 of us.
There you go, good company.
So, Ms. Paletti, tell me, why did you choose teaching as a profession?
Well, when I was younger, like from maybe the time I was 3 or 4 years old, I had gotten a chalkboard from my grandmother, and whether it was my own sister and brother or the neighborhood kids, I was always the teacher. They were always the students, no matter the age. And you know, I taught everything from how to draw a leaf to how to add. And as I would get up in curriculum there, I would just up my game in what I was teaching. And I always said I was going to be a teacher. And then my parents said, well, if we're going to send you to college, teachers don't make enough money. You can't be a teacher. So I went and got my business degree, came out, worked in the business sector for a couple of years, and then had the opportunity to go back and become a teacher. I did a little subbing, kind of liked it, had a couple kids, and thought, well, at least I'll get to be with my children. And entered in from the moment I hit the ground out in Belglade. It was my first job. I just knew I'd missed 4 years of what I thought from the beginning that was going to be my calling, and I've never really looked back.
So when you think about your time as a teacher, and even though you kind of took a different route to get there, do you think that there might have been a teacher or some teachers that inspired you or that you may pattern yourself after?
I think absolutely. I think for whatever reason, there's something that was born in me that wanted to be, up there talking to people and telling them things. But I think what actually molded me to be that teacher that goes beyond just, here's the next page that we're going to do, were teachers that I had, there's so many of them. Math, for sure, I teach math. I had a math teacher in 7th grade, Mr. Durham, who, to me, I wanted him to be my dad, and I love my dad. but I wanted him to be my dad because I just thought, the way he does numbers, I just have to be like that. I had a calculus teacher in high school that absolutely same kind of relationship. And I had an English teacher and a band director. And I think those four, I feel like I took the best of each one of those, and that's who I am. Like I feel like I took a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, put it all together and tried to make what I thought would be the most amazing teacher in the world.
Oh, you just warmed my heart when you said I had a band director. Yes, yes,
I've said
band
two of
directors.
them,
Yes,
but yeah.
yes. Susan, you knew I was going to say that.
Yep.
So tell us, what's your favorite part of teaching?
I think my favorite part is I started in alternative ed, and it looks like I'm going to end my career in alternative ed as a teacher and a teacher. And I think my favorite part has always been the kid who doesn't always get the award, the kid who never gets the award. When you can find something that kid can succeed at or win at, or win your heart and tell them that they did. That is what I missed, even as an administrator, coming back into the classroom. I knew I missed it. I just didn't realize how much I missed it until I got back in the classroom and said, this is the best part of teaching.
So tell me, what's life like in Tracy Paletti's math classroom?
Well, I teach in an alternative school that is an online version of an alternative. So there's a lot. We even were online prior to the pandemic.
Correct.
So for me, a lot of it, they are self-directed in a sense, but they are still students, and they're still high school age students, and they're still alternative students that have struggled somewhere else. So they come in and you hope that they do everything that they're supposed to do. And I feel like for me, it was hard. I came in later in a year when I entered, and I really had to build the relationship, not from the start of the year. Mm-hmm. And for me, it became about motivators. We have the Chick-fil-A challenge, we have the Burger King challenge, the Popeyes challenge, because food is a huge motivator for all kids, but certainly for our population. So I find ways to get them engaged from their level, because they're not really, if I say, oh, do this, you get 10 points, it's really not the biggest deal for them. But if I say, everyone who gets to this spot in the next 2 weeks gets a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, then suddenly that's everything for them. And that's kind of how I had to start to get them won over in order to have better days at the beginning.
So from your perspective, Ms. Steele, what's life like in that classroom?
It is very tailored to the students that are in the classroom. We have a very diverse population, and so when I walk into Mrs. Paletti's classroom, I see her dealing with each student separately and differently, giving them what they're looking for. Sometimes students want to be left alone, they're working independently. Other times students are needing her there to tutor them and work through a test that they may be working on. So it's very unique because the strategies are very specific to each student.
So describe her for us, please, using 3 adjectives.
First of all, empathetic. She has lots of empathy for her students. I would say, just as she mentioned about the food, motivating. She realizes the importance of motivation, and all of us know that in high school, many of our students struggle in math. That's particularly the case at our school, where all of our students are 100% at risk. And she really works hard to motivate the students. Finally, the third adjective that I would say would be problem solver. And I think that comes from being a math teacher, but anytime that we have a challenge, she is very much about finding the solution.
So Ms. Paletti, tell me, what do you think is your greatest impact?
Well, I would love to say that there's a million situations I could say this was the biggest deal. This particular thing, and every year 20 more things happen. I think this is the biggest deal. But for me, I think the proof that I've been a wonderful teacher and a good role model, and a person that really says this is what teaching is about and this is how great of a career it is, I'd have to say were my own 2 children, because I have 2 daughters. One is currently a teacher and the other one's in education to be a teacher. And I think in this day and age, to have children that want to be teachers after watching their parent be a single parent and a teacher, I think for me, that says, I know they saw I did it well and I did it right. And for me, that means that I made the impact, because they're both great teachers too, I think.
Awesome, yes. Ms. Steele, what makes Ms. Paletti the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
I think, again, when we talked about the qualities, the first thing is having empathy for our students, and now, especially with the pandemic, we all know that we have to have empathy for what our students have gone through and are going through, and also the fact that she is a motivator. She finds the ways to motivate the students, and then finally, as I said, problem solving, because we know there are always problems to be solved in education, and if you have a can-do attitude and work to find solutions, that's a perfect trifecta.
Ms. Paletti, we expect the Teacher of the Year to have a story, to have a message to share with the world about education. And your selection grants you that opportunity. What's your message?
I think more than any year, I think that I want the message to be that if you have a desire to do something and a real passion to do it, and it happens to be teaching, you should just definitely give it a shot. Because not only is it personally rewarding and every day is different, but I think that this world today is going to need more than any time I think that I've experienced in my 57 years, is going to need character builders that can help build loving, caring individuals to kind of help create solutions to kind of the world problems that we have that aren't going to be solved by technology. They're going to be solved by building character in young people to go out there and find some real solutions to some of the things that we're experiencing in this world. So, I mean, it's been the greatest job ever for me, and I don't know how many more years it's going to take me in, but I'm in for the long haul. So
cool. F.C. O'Neill Jose tells us the influence of teachers extends beyond the classroom well into the future, and we are sure that you are affecting lives of those students for their future. Ms. Steele, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your selection.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes.
It's our pleasure.
That's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing. Seriously.
Joining us as the Teacher of the Year from Forest Grove Middle School is Ms. Mia Estevez. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. And she has along with her the proud principal of Bulldog Nation, Dr. Art Jamison. Welcome to our show, Doc.
Thank you for having us, and Happy New Year, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you. It is a pleasure for us to have the opportunity to celebrate your selection as Teacher of the Year, but to also be able to share with our many viewers some of the dynamic teachers that we have working here in St. Lucie Public Schools. So, Ms. Estevez, if you would briefly share with our visitors about your background.
Well, I am originally from New York, from the Bronx. I moved here about 3 years ago. I used to work in an elementary school. I worked there for 2 years, and then I decided to move to Florida. And the Grove has been my home ever since, teaching 6th grade ELA. It has definitely been a change, but for the better. And every day I just enjoy coming in and working with my students and trying to figure out ways to be better.
Awesome, awesome. So Dr. Jamison, just in case someone doesn't know who the wonderful Arthur Jamison is, would you also introduce yourself to us?
Yes, my name is Art Jamison. I'm a graduate of University of Central Florida. That's where I did my undergrad, and then got my doctorate at Lynn University. And this is the start of my 2nd year at Forest Grove Middle School.
Again, to both of you, welcome to the show. So, share with us, why did you choose teaching as a profession?
I chose teaching because I knew that I always wanted to make a difference somehow. And I always adored working with children. I just love how they are just unapologetically themselves. And as they get older, I do notice a bit of a change. But I feel that there's just so much hope and promise with children, and I like how just every day, even though you plan, it's something new, and it's not as predictable as you would think.
When you think about your choice to become a teacher, Reflect back. Was there a teacher or a few teachers that inspired you to become a teacher?
I would say I definitely had one high school teacher who helped me no matter what. He was always positive and just kind of down to earth and was so easy to relate to. And so he definitely never made me feel discouraged. And I would go to tutoring in the morning before school, and it was just never a problem. If we had questions, he was always open to it and just showing us multiple ways to do something if one way didn't work out for us. And so I think that really stuck with me.
Share with us, if you would, please, what's life like in Mia Estevez's classroom?
My classroom, I would say, is inviting. I have students walk by who I have never met before, and they're like, I want to be in this classroom. Can you be my teacher? And so I strive to create an environment where the children feel welcome and where they are not afraid to take risks. And so I am always encouraging them to ask questions whenever it arises, and to keep trying. Definitely, there are times where students get frustrated or they feel like something is too hard. And I always let them know that they can do so, they can reach it, to just, put in the effort at least. So I would say in my classroom, the students come in and they get focused and they try for the most part.
So Dr. Jamison, from your perspective, when you visit Ms. Estevez's classroom, what's life like?
As she mentioned, it's a very inviting classroom. One of the things that you would notice when you walk into her classroom is just everything that's related to English in the classroom on the walls. Just the different words, the different slogans, different phrases that all relate to English. It makes the classroom very inviting that students want to learn in there. And then her personality adds to that. She has a very inviting personality. She has empathy for the students. One of the things that I think is a testament to her is that she's able to teach and reach all levels of students. In many cases in the past that I've seen, not all teachers can teach the high level students, or all teachers can't teach the low level students. And one of the things about Ms. Estevez that's an attribute to her, a skill set that she has, is that she can teach all levels. And that's what her schedule is built on. She has high level students and low level students, but she treats them all with respect. And she knows that they all are there to learn, and she challenges them to continue to learn. And so when you walk into her class, you see a very engaging class, but students love being in there.
Would you please describe her for us using 3 adjectives?
The first adjective I would use would be passion. She's very passionate for her craft as a teacher, to continuously learn how to get better. Because in getting better, it makes the students get better in regards to them learning academically. I would say the next one would be determination. She's very determined, and that's not only outside the classroom. Inside the classroom, definitely, she's very competitive. She wants her students to do the best that they can. She knows that a lot is riding on, what they do, but then also outside of the classroom. She's very determined to help us as a school have a culture that's very collaborative and family friendly. And so she leads our program, our school, in regards to the wellness program. She heads up our yoga, Thursday yoga days. She's also working with our National Junior Honor Society. She is the sponsor for that. And so she works holistically helping the Bulldog Nation get better.
I need to come do yoga.
Yes, stop by.
What's your favorite part of teaching?
I would say my favorite part of teaching is seeing the students' reaction to their learning. So, for example, when they finally understand something that they originally didn't, or just being excited about a topic that we may cover or read about or write about. And so just seeing them engaging and collaboratively working together, talking, and kind of bringing in their own thoughts and ideas to the discussions, I say would be my favorite part.
When I listen to Dr. Jamison give his responses to those earlier questions, it's evident that they are bulldog proud of you over at Forest Grove. Tell me, what are you most proud of about your school?
I would say I'm most proud of how supported I am. I walk into school and I always know that there's someone there on campus that I can go to if I am ever in a bind, I have a question, or if I need someone to come in for any reason. I know that there's always someone that I can go to and reach out to, and that I am comfortable with doing so.
Dr. Jamison, what makes Mia Estevez the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
You know, one of the things that we say in education when we see a teacher that's a rising star is they have it, that term it. And in my opinion, Mia has it. Like I mentioned earlier, she has a thirst for learning and bettering herself as an educator. And we all know that that would transcend into the classroom. You know, one of the things that we talk about as administrators is watching teachers try new things in the classroom, and, you know, they know they're going to fail, but the hope and goal is that they will get better at that skill set to get better in teaching the students. And some teachers are afraid to do that, but she is not. You know, she's open to trying new technology, new ways of presentation of the material to the students. And she knows that in some cases it's not going to come out well, but she has a very good rapport with the students, and they know that she's trying and it'll be better in the future. And so from that aspect, the fact that she is a teacher that we consider a rising star, willing to give her all. She represents the school holistically. I think that bodes well for an individual like her being the Teacher of the Year in this district.
So, Mr. Estevez, you're the Teacher of the Year. You have to have a story. We'd love to hear your voice. What do you have to say? Tell us, if you had an opportunity to share with the world, what's your message?
My message would be to take things step by step and day by day. I constantly remind myself, as well as my students, to just put in that initial effort and don't get so caught up with the end picture, because sometimes when it gets overwhelming, things get overwhelming at times, especially these current times with what we're going through. And it's okay to take a breath sometimes and look at something with new eyes. So to just continue to put in the effort, because even though it may not work out originally or the first time that you try, you can if you keep on going. And so just taking it piece by piece, and you'll make it.
John Blades left us with these words when he said, "Teachers are the important link to the future." And it's evident that you are being that link for those students over at Forest Grove. Dr. Jamison, thank you for coming along, and congratulations, Mr.
Thank you so much
on your selection as Teacher of the Year.
When it comes to saving money,
What?
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting. This is so humiliating.
Be the boss.
I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap. You were saying.
And make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read. What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
at feedthepig.org.
We're excited to welcome to our Teacher of the Year Spotlight Show, Miss Michelle Gleason, the fantastic Teacher of the Year from Samuel Gaines Academy. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
She's brought along my dear friend and brother, Keith Davis, who's the proud principal of Sam Gaines. Mr. Davis, welcome to the show.
Good evening, how are you?
All is well. Ms. Gleason, we always get excited when we have an opportunity to do this Teacher of the Year Spotlight Show, because we get to celebrate teachers, but also we have an opportunity to introduce some of our teachers to our many viewers. So I'm going to ask if you would give us a little bit about your background so that our viewers will know just a little bit more about the wonderful Ms. Gleason.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I went ahead and I was born and raised here in Florida, grew up in Miami. I went to FAU to go ahead and get my bachelor's, moved up to Port St. Lucie, been here about 7 years, and I'm proudly a third grade teacher at Samuel Gaines.
Awesome. Mr. Davis, same for you.
I'm actually a product of Fort Pierce of St. Lucie Public Schools. I'm a graduate of Fort Pierce Central, class of '87.
Go Cobras.
Yes, go Cobras. Then I went off to school, South Carolina State, and currently I am the principal of Gaines Academy.
Okay, again, to both of you, welcome. So, Ms. Gleason, let's start by asking you to share with us, why did you choose teaching as a profession?
Well, when I grew up and I was in high school, my mom had a daycare. And I would go after high school, I would go there, school, and be there for the summer and work as a part-time. And I have to say, there's nothing more than really planting your seed into the next generation and seeing it blossom before your eyes and seeing that light bulb go off in their eyes finally when they understand it and they get what you're trying to teach them. And I said, there's nothing more better than doing that for the rest of my life.
So, mom owned a daycare, but when you think back, and it could be mom, is there a teacher or teachers that you think inspired you to become a teacher?
Yes, it was my third grade teacher. Her name's Miss Perez. She was the one that really changed learning and education for me and the view that I had of school. She made me feel so important and took the extra time to make sure that I understood what I needed to understand.
So share with us, Ms. Gleason, what is life like in your third grade classroom?
I would have to start by energetic. It's very, very different, and the kids look forward to going ahead and showing up to class. They run from the cafeteria after getting breakfast, and they're, oh, Miss Gleason, good morning, and they're just ready to go, and they take out their stuff, and I have to say, the energy in the classroom is overwhelming because the positivity of the family and the community, the bond that they have together, I look back and it just warms my heart.
So with the energy in the classroom that goes on and kids are rushing to get there, what's your favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part is after you introduce the lesson and you've been teaching it for a few days, finally when that one child, and it's usually the bottom quartile, child finally gets it and their eyes just open up, they're like, Miss Gleason, I got it. I understand what you were trying to teach me. And it's like, that's why I showed up today.
Awesome. That's why I showed up today. And that's worth showing up for, isn't it? Yes. Mr. Davis, you have the opportunity to watch this energy and this enthusiasm and that excitement happen on a daily basis. Share with us what you see when you visit Ms. Gleason's classroom.
Well, she hit it right on the head with the energy, but it's not a spiking up and down type energy at all. It's just a constant buzz throughout the whole time. So I can easily come and look into her classroom and come in, and the students are ready to discuss whatever the academics that are going on at that time. They're ready to engage and ready to give feedback right away. So, and you can even notice it through the hallway, and it even trickles out into her other colleagues in that class. So that's, I think, one of those pieces that really moved her to being the Teacher of the Year this year for us.
Cool. So not only with the students, but also with our colleagues.
Correct.
That's what I heard. Yes. So Mr. Davis, describe her for me using 3 adjectives.
Okay. I'm going to go with she's committed. She's compassionate. And I'm going to go with, I'm leaning toward creative.
So share with me why you chose those 3, committed, compassionate, and creative.
This year, being that we had to move and do a digital or virtual type class, she noticed one of her colleagues having a little bit of a trouble with the whole virtual component. So she openly exchanged her class and took that teacher's class and got those kids motivated virtually. And this is a great story that she doesn't know about, her commitment to the students of Gaines Academy beyond 3rd grade.
Right.
One of the teachers came to me who has a student that was virtual that wasn't really participating before. However, when she took over that classroom, the teacher noticed a big change with her child participating, being more involved. That same energy buzzed through the digital network to the home of that child. So that's something that we noticed, and I was like, oh wow, this is fantastic.
So, Ms. Gleason, it's obvious when I listen to Mr. Davis speak that Samuel Gaines Academy is proud of Michelle Gleason. Tell me, what are you most proud of about Gaines?
I'm going to start from the very top. I have to say, Samuel Gaines has one of the best, I feel, administration that we have. They're so approachable, and they always greet you with a smile. I go up to the front office and they solve my problems. I'm like, I need your help, and they're like, oh, we got that. The other thing is really the single school culture. You go to school and you show up and it's like going home. It's one big family. I love going down the hallways and you see people and we're all with a smile. We're all here for each other as one big team. At SAM, we don't have that I in team. It's all one village, one team that works together. And I love the leader in me that we have, and this whole, the online activities, the Nearpod that we're using through the Canvas. I mean, I can go on and on.
Share with me then, what do you regard as your most, as your greatest accomplishment?
Learning everything, and really, and what I mean by learning everything is admitting that I don't know it all. And having those mentors and those teachers that are just open to teach me and guide me to be the best teacher that I can be. And I have to say, I thank them for that.
So I'm going to dip out of just talking about you being a teacher, but let me talk about Michelle Gleason, just the total person, the total person. If you had an opportunity to make a wish, what would your wish for education in this country be?
I would have to say that really we focus that, well, let me go ahead and say that each teacher go back to knowing that the education is about that one child and each of them to grow. And it's their gain in education day by day. And some of our students, they're at a turtle speed. Some of them grow faster. But it's just to go back and seeing the individual gains that they have.
So Mr. Davis, tell us what makes Michelle Gleason the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Oh, wow. There's so many things. I believe that she takes time, and she mentioned in her earlier answer about the individual child. But I think how she helps her colleagues grow and how she understands the systems of education and the importance of the PD that needs to take place, the virtual learning that needs to take place, and the fact that she gets parents involved. I think this was a challenge this year for education to get those virtual students on board and keep that energy going. And somehow she's been able to balance all of that and keep it going like it was a regular classroom occurring. So that is something that's that creativity that she brings to the table.
So Ms. Gleason, you're the Teacher of the Year. We're waiting to hear from you. We need your voice. You're our spokesperson. Share with us your message to all of us as Teacher of the Year about education.
Well, the education, it's really thinking about planning your lesson backwards. And it's how am I going to go ahead and reach that one student and have that student grow.
We've chosen this quote just for you. A teacher takes a hand, opens a mind, and touches a heart. It's evident when I hear Mr. Davis talk and the work that you're doing for the systems at the school and for your colleagues, that that's exactly what you're doing. Mr. Davis, thank you for joining us. I'm going to take a minute, Ms. Gleason, and also thanks Ms. Perez, that third grade teacher, for her inspiration.
Thank you.
And congratulations to you on your selection as Teacher of the Year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning?
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
We're excited to welcome to our show Angelique Baylor, who's a fabulous Teacher of the Year for Allapattah Flats K-8 School. Ms. Baylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
She's brought along with her the very dynamic Miss Anna Rodriguez, the proud principal at Allapattah Flats. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So, we have many viewers that tune in to keep up with what's going on in St. Lucie Public Schools. So, we'd like to take this opportunity to brag and to share some of the brightest and best with them. So Ms. Baylor, if you would please briefly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay. My name is Angelique Baylor. I grew up in Port Charlotte, Florida, so I'm a Floridian. I went to the University of South Florida, go Bulls, got my degree in criminology, and then I switched my careers after a couple of years. I started out as an assistant teacher in VPK. Then I moved up to kindergarten teacher, and currently I am a third grade teacher at Allapattah Flats.
Great, great, go Bulls, I got you, I heard you. And Ms. Rodriguez, introduce yourself, please.
So my name is Ana Rodriguez. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I came here as a teenager and completed my bachelor's and my master's at FAU. And after that, I started teaching at White City Elementary. And about 8 years into teaching, I decided I wanted to explore administration. So then I became an assistant principal at Bayshore Elementary. I went to Village Green, and after Village Green, I took on the new challenge of the K-8. So I went to Allapattah Flats, where I have been for about 9 years now.
Excellent, excellent. So Ms. Baylor, what made you decide to become a teacher?
What really made me decide to become a teacher is when I was in the law enforcement field working at the jail, I saw a lot of students and a lot of juveniles and kids come in, and it really broke my heart that they didn't have mentors or people that they can look up to, and I wanted to get to them before they got into the system, and I wanted to just build a relationship and let them know that there are other choices in life.
So when you made that switch, did you ever take time to think back about some teachers and say, oh yeah, that's some inspiration from that teacher? If so, who would that teacher be?
I think I'd go back to my high school years, and I had one teacher that stood out. His name was Sergeant Major Richard Fraterelli, and he was a mentor to everybody in my class, but he was more than just a teacher. He was like a father figure, and when I was in his class, any of the classes, I would want to go back to his class because it felt like family, it felt like home.
So share with us, what's life like in Miss Baylor's third grade classroom?
Life is, I'd have to say, hectic, but enjoyable in my classroom. We have a certain schedule where we get together. I do teach virtual, so they come into the classroom. We have some inspiring, motivational music usually waiting for them so they can join in and get logged on and make sure they have everything that they need. We go around and we start our day with our SEL, and we talk about certain things, how we're feeling today, gauge what our goals are, and then we just jump into our learning and our engagement. We do a lot of learning games, a lot of Kahoots, a lot of getting the kids, letting them know that even if they're at home, they're still in the classroom, they still have a class family.
So what do you find is the most enjoyable part of teaching?
I think the most enjoyable part of teaching for me is building that relationship with students, then also when they finally get that aha moment. They've been working on something so hard and they just feel, oh, I'm never going to get it, I'm never going to get it. And then when it finally clicks, them having that self-confidence that they know and they have the ability to really get anything.
So Ms. Rodriguez, you have the opportunity to watch this energy and this excitement and this fun of learning occur every day. What's life like in her class from your perspective when you visit?
Well, just to give you a perspective of what it's like. Today I was doing a formal in the classroom next to hers, and I could hear the boom, boom, boom of the music. So just like she said, the thing I love the most about Ms. Baylor is that the engagement is always there. Even though she's teaching virtually full-time, the classroom is decorated. She loves Harry Potter, so she wants to create that Hogwarts environment in her classroom. There's always music, there's disco lights. It's just always exciting to be there.
Describe her for us, please, using 3 adjectives, and tell us why.
The first one would be dedicated. She puts her heart into everything she does at school, whether it is with adults or students or families, her heart is there. She participates in extracurricular kinds of things. So she cares not just about instruction, she cares about the spirit of the school as well. I would say reflective. Whenever I meet with Ms. Baylor and we talk about her practices, She's very reflective. She's always looking to improve her craft. She's always looking for things that she can do better for the students and for herself. So she wants to improve herself, and she reflects upon that every single day. And engaging, definitely one of the most engaging teachers that I've observed.
So, Ms. Baylor, when I hear those descriptors from Ms. Rodriguez and then listen to what she says about your classroom, the energy, the disco lights, the fun that's there, even in a virtual world, and then I reflect that you're the teacher of the year. It's evident that they are Allapattah Flats proud of you. Share with me what you are most proud of about your school.
What I'm most proud about my school is we go above and beyond to make sure we have a great learning environment for the students, but then also we really pride ourselves on building the relationships with the students and letting them know we're there for them at home, during the school hours, anytime, and just going above and beyond, and that we have this environment that is, like I said, I wanted to build from my teacher that inspired me, was we have a school family with our students and in our staff.
What do you think has been your greatest impact?
I think my greatest impact with my previous students and my current students is they know that I'm not just their teacher for this year, I am always their teacher. And what I pride myself in doing is even if they leave my classroom, my students know that I'm going to check in on them in their other classes with their teachers. And I'm there for the long haul, not just for one year, but once my student, always my student.
Tell me, what do you think makes you a good teacher?
I think it's my positive attitude and my positive outlook. And then I'm always trying to make sure my classroom it's fun, it's engaging, it's like home. You want to come to school to come to my classroom. And I think that I not only have that with my students, but also my colleagues. I try to lift them up and bring positivity to their day and their lives as well.
So, Ms. Rodriguez, share with us, what makes Ms. Baylor the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Well, she came to us not long ago. She was a parent at our school. Her 4 children came to Allapattah, but she was teaching at another school. And her first year at Allapattah, she was already somebody that I scheduled other teachers to come and observe because she was so good at her skills. And not only is she a model for other teachers, but just like she mentioned, that school family, at the end of the year last year, she created a video that was a tribute to our family as a school. She took pictures all throughout the year. She gathered all of these different pictures. She put music to it, and she sent it out to the staff to celebrate, even though we had such a challenging and tough year. She wanted us to celebrate all the good things. And I think that makes her very special.
So, Ms. Baylor, you're the Teacher of the Year. The world is waiting to hear your message, your voice. You're our spokesperson for teachers and students. Share with us, what do you have to say?
I'd have to say that education is the foundation for any child and where they want to go in life. And we as a community, parents, teachers, staff, administration, we have to make sure that we come together to make sure that their foundation is strong and that they're ready for anything they want to achieve.
Great. Let me leave you with these words. When they need to speak, you listen. When they need to listen, you speak. When they need to question, you answer. And when they need to answer, you question. Knowing when, just a part of what makes you a great teacher. Thank you for the work that you do every day at Allapattah Flats. Ms. Rodriguez, thank you for joining us. And Ms. Baylor, again, congratulations on your selection as Teacher of the Year.
I grew up in the housing projects of Cleveland. I didn't even know that life could be any better than it was. Education for me has been a way to get away from the agony of what was normal life. I want to be able to impact the community, not just look back on where I came from, but to reach back to where I came from and pull some people up with me. My name is David, and I am your dividend.
So at this time, we say thank you to those wonderful teachers for being such wonderful, exemplary role models and caring people. Thank you for the work you do every day to make the world a better place by the lives you touch. We are better because of you.